How are we going to have it fixed, pray, if it never stops raining? Have you been up to empty the pans?" "Oh, yes. Anne took up some more. There's a new leak now, further over." "A new one! Why, it'll all be leaking yet." Pollyanna opened her lips. She had almost said, "Well, we can be glad to have it fixed all at once." Then, when she suddenly remembered, and substituted in a tired voice, "Very likely it will, Auntie. It looks like it now, fast enough. Anyway, it's made fuss enough for a whole roof already, and I'm sick of it." With that statement, Pollyanna, her face carefully averted, turned and trailed listlessly out of the room. "It's so funny and so hard. I'm afraid I'm making a mess of it," she whispered to herself anxiously as she hurried downstairs to the kitchen. Behind her, Aunt Polly, in the bedroom, gazed after her with the eyes that were again faintly puzzled. Aunt Polly had occasion a good many times before 6 o'clock that night to gaze at Pollyanna with surprised and questioning eyes. Nothing was right with Pollyanna. The fire would not burn, the wind blew one particular blind loose 3 times, and still a third leak was discovered in the roof. The mail brought to Pollyanna a letter that made her cry, though no amount of questioning on Aunt Polly's part would persuade her to tell why. Even the dinner went wrong, and innumerable things happened in the afternoon to call out fretful, discouraged remarks. Not until the day was more than half gone did a look of shrewd suspicion suddenly fight for supremacy with the puzzled questioning in Aunt Polly's eyes. If Pollyanna saw this, she made no sign. Certainly there was no abatement in her fretfulness and discontent. Long before 6 o'clock, however, the suspicion in Aunt Polly's eyes became conviction, and drove to ignominious defeat the puzzled questioning. But curiously enough then, a new look came to take its place, a look that was actually a twinkle of amusement. At last, after a particularly doleful complaint on Pollyanna's part, Aunt Polly threw up her hands with a gesture of half-laughing despair. "That'll do! That'll do, child! I'll give up. I'll confess myself beaten at my own game. You can be glad for that, if you like," she finished with a grim smile. "I know, Auntie, but you said," began Pollyanna demurely. "Yes, yes, but I never will again," interrupted Aunt Polly with emphasis. "Mercy, what a day this has been! I never want to live through another like it." She hesitated, flushed a little, then went on with evident difficulty. "Furthermore, I want you to know that I understand I haven't played the game myself very well lately. But after this I'm going to try. Where's my handkerchief?" she finished sharply, fumbling in the folds of her dress. Pollyanna sprang to her feet and crossed instantly to her aunt's side. "Oh, but Aunt Polly, I didn't mean it was a joke," she quavered in quick distress. "I never thought of you taking it that way." "Of course you didn't," snapped Aunt Polly with all asperity of a stern, repressed woman who abhors scenes and sentiment, and who is mortally afraid she'll show that her heart has been touched. "Don't you suppose I know you didn't mean it that way? Do you think if I thought you had been trying to teach me a lesson that I'd " But Pollyanna's strong young arms had her in a close embrace, and she could not finish the sentence. Chapter 27